Before we get into this list, just to be clear, we're going to be avoiding all of the big cats like jaguars, lions, and tigers. That would just be too easy. Instead, we're talking about the ones that are small and look like they'd be a nice thing to own as a pet, and some legal to own, others illegal. But without wasting any more time, here are dangerous and aggressive cat breeds you need to see. 8. Caracals. Okay, we feel as though we've broken the rule of no big cats already, but don't worry though. While Caracals are big when compared to normal domesticated house cats, they're nowhere near as huge as the previously mentioned big cats during the intro. Anyway, full-grown Caracals weigh between 30 and 50 pounds and are around 16 to 17 inches long. Caracals are also known to be very hard to read in terms of their emotions and attitude. They tend to show their emotions through ear movements and hissing sounds. While this sounds like an easy giveaway as to how these creatures are, these ear movements are very hard to read and decipher. They're also known for being social creatures, which sounds like a good thing for those looking to own one, and yes, they are in fact legal to own, but it is common knowledge that they're extremely energetic and destructive when they play, so it's probably not the best idea to own one. 7. Serval. Now yes, this was on our list of most exotic pets you can actually own, but despite being a legal animal you can own in limited states, it's still a wild cat. That means that although they can be very loyal to their owners, they can have a very sensitive temperament. Technically, this would sort of count as a big cat due to their long, slender legs and the fact that they are much larger than the average house cat, but despite being on a list of vicious cat breeds, it's obviously nowhere near as vicious as a lion or a tiger. When it comes to looking after servals, it needs a particular type of environment and must adhere to its special dietary needs. On top of all of this, they are indeed natural hunters who tend to hunt at night. So considering how easily its temperament can turn, you probably won't be catching much shut-eye, that's for sure. Even though they're not vicious, servals tend to always have their teeth and claws out while playing. This makes them extremely dangerous around children, despite being fairly loyal animals to their owners. 6. Bobcats. Bobcats are pretty strange. Don't get us wrong, they're incredibly adorable, but they're strange in the sense of being the bridge between domesticated house cats and wild cats like lions and tigers. Just looking at them and how their body structure is will immediately set off that thought in anyone's head. While they're only legal in select states, bobcats can be domesticated. However, this is a very similar story to the previously mentioned serval. In fact, they're probably a bit better to train than servals, as these exotic felines tend to bond strongly with humans. Despite these bonds and how tame they appear, don't let them fool you, as they have quite an aggressive side, and believe us, you don't want to be on the wrong side of these animals because they have the potential to take down a fully grown human quickly and easily. This is why it's advised that you don't have one as a pet, as they tend to have a drastic change in temperament at the flip of a switch, and it's completely unpredictable. And if you do decide to own one, we hope you're ready to replace all of your furniture because they will tear it up like there's no tomorrow. 5. Ocelot. Archer fans will know exactly what ocelots are. So when it comes to wild cats being legal to own as a house pet, this one is a tricky one to take care of. The ocelot requires specialized care, much like most exotic animals do, as they are extremely high maintenance and pose a definite risk to the owner. The biggest problem when it comes to owning one of these is the fact that they're constantly marking what they believe is their territory with both urine and feces. It doesn't help that compared to usual pet waste, that their waste smells really strong and is very, very potent. Much like with most wild cats, they need a lot of space and need to be kept in an enclosed area. So clear out the dining room because that small cage isn't going to do much for it. But what makes them so dangerous? Well, for starters, their jaws are very strong. Like it's uncanny how much force their bites have. By comparison, it's just as strong, if not stronger, than that of a pit bull bite. On top of this, though, they've got a very destructive personality, as they'll chew up and claw almost anything in its sight. Ocelots are known for disemboweling their prey with their back legs and will have no problem doing this to humans if they're not trained and looked after properly from a very young age. Maybe just stick to an ordinary domesticated cat. 4. Singapora. Aw, as cuddly as this cat looks, it's actually very vicious. The Singapora is an aggressive cat that is local to the streets of Singapore. This adorable breed of feline is rarely social, and it prefers to spend its time hiding from people and not interacting with others, aka me on a Saturday night. But all jokes aside, they're very antisocial and like to keep their space to themselves. Despite being good at hiding, they're actually very curious little things, as they like to get into things that don't belong to them. Now, while that sounds like the perfect makings to a viral cat video, they're unfortunately very aggressive and vicious. They might attack anyone who they view as in their way, and they will not hesitate to bite, scratch, hiss, and claw. I dated someone like that once. But despite all the hiding, shyness, and potential viciousness, they ironically like human interaction. Sure, they take a while to feel relaxed around a human, but when they are, they're actually the sweetest little things you'd want to take home with you. 3. Siamese. Now, this one is sure to come as a surprise to some of you cat lovers out there. Pet owners love to own Siamese cats because they're so pretty. Some of them can even look downright goofy that they're just irresistible not to own. They have very wide-set eyes that make them seem prettier than other animals. Now, it must be said that they do make great house pets, but that doesn't mean they're the friendliest cats in the world. In fact, they're probably one of the more vicious house cats of the lot. Put it this way, they don't work too well with full families. The reason for this is because they'll bond with one person and one person only. Anyone else who tries to bond with it will most likely get a bite or a nasty scratch for their troubles. For example, the Siamese will find one household member with which to form a relationship, and more often than not, they do not like children and are not very affectionate with anyone but their favorite person. Does this make them dangerous overall? Well, sort of. When compared to others on this list, like the next two, for domesticated cats, they're pretty dangerous, especially around children. 2. Sphinx. Now, you're probably thinking, yes, this cat is evil looking, but it doesn't look as though it would do much damage to a person. Looks can be very deceiving because the Sphinx can be pretty dangerous. Sphinx are cats that require a bit of attention from its owners in order for it to be happy and content. As you can probably gather, if it's not happy and content, then you won't be happy and content, as it can become a real chore to look after and can even be dangerous. Sphinx are fairly aggressive cats by nature, as they can be very demanding and wants to know it's number one. So yeah, good luck parents with young kids. 1. Egyptian Mau. This cat isn't aggressive, particularly, but we're not here talking about whether or not they're aggressive creatures. This is what they're capable of, and what it is capable of may actually surprise you. While it's not aggressive in nature, it is in fact extremely protective of those it cares for. It's been well documented that Egyptian Maus bond strongly with their family, but will not do so well with strangers, very similar to how some domesticated dogs are. Now, that doesn't mean it will attack on command or will attack a stranger for the sake of doing it. In fact, they can be very shy in nature. However, when they do attack, you will know about it. The only time the Egyptian Mau becomes particularly aggressive is when it feels its belongings are being threatened. For example, an Egyptian Mau will hiss, growl, or even swat at someone's hand if they attempt to touch the cat's toy, bed, or even its food dish. Now, okay, compared to some of the cats on this list, that doesn't sound so dangerous, but when it comes to domesticated cats, this one can be pretty dangerous while also being a great companion to have in your home. When it's not being catered to by its owners, it's not happy and will show that by acting out in an aggressive manner. And that's our list. Did we leave any out that you know about? Well, let us know in the comments section below. Please remember to subscribe and tap that bell button so we can notify you when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.